$13,000. For instance, we probably made $1,100 or $1,200 in that day. Our days are 16, 17 hours long. 1,000 just in one morning.
I'm Georgia.
And I'm Michael, and we are the owners of Lola's Coffee mobile coffee trailer.
We both have worked in restaurants for combined over like 15 years. That's how we met, and we kind of wanted to own our own business.
Yeah, we spent 5-6 years at a restaurant that we worked at and managed. You know, with COVID, things kind of got derailed for us, like career-wise, that we wanted to do. So we kind of started looking at options of owning our own restaurant, and we thought maybe the best way to actually own a restaurant would be to start out with a food truck and kind of see how we liked it, go from there.
Yeah, a little less overhead than other, buying a building.
So you went and worked at a coffee shop to get more experience.
Yes.
And we kind of just started saving up money and keep an eye out on trailers, trucks, and yeah. We found one on eBay for, I don't know, about $13,000. Bought that, drove down there in a day, brought it back, and started kind of repurposing it to be
coffee.
To be a coffee truck. So
yeah, it was in Kentucky. It was a sangria trailer. So when we got it, there was no plumbing in it or like the 3-compartment sinks. We built all of this out, and the countertops were all wood plank. So we had to cover those with stainless steel. Luckily, my dad is very good at construction and very handy. So he was able to basically do all of the remodeling that we needed to do. And that took about 6 months. We got the trailer in October of 2022. And then we had to wait until the spring to paint the outside as well because the outside was black. So we painted it, did the decals, and we were ready to open officially in July of 2023.
So that means we've been operating now for a year and a few months. So it's our first full year doing it.
Yes.
Got to open right in April, and we've been going at it now all season, so
it's been kind of nice to have a full season under our belt.
Yeah.
So
can you tell us about like your events or like hours of operation? Like what's a typical week look like?
Typically, like right now, this isn't our full-time job, so we do a lot of Saturdays and Sundays. Every once in a while we get a few Friday shows, or if people request, we'll do a weekday, but we usually have to have a lot of time in advance for that just because we have other jobs. But yeah, we try to do a lot of Saturdays and Sundays.
We do this as a mobile unit, so we have a commissary at the restaurant that we first started working at and getting experience in, and we still work there during the weeknights and sometimes weekends. So, they're flexible with us. If we do end up booking, like we've done, like tournaments this year, we've done, we did a fair, stuff like that, so it's kind of flexible for us.
Week long,
yeah,
instead of just Saturdays.
So it's nice to have flexibility because we've had times where we open the trailer at 7-8 o'clock in the morning, and then we close at 2 and go right into work at 3 and bring our dishes with us and kind of do it. So sometimes our days are 16, 17 hours long. Sometimes though we're only open for 2 or 3 hours doing like a concession fundraiser thing, and we're closed up and out of there by 10:30 in the morning. So it definitely depends.
Very dependent on the event that we're doing.
Can you just tell us about your menu and the coffee and what you serve?
I worked at a coffee shop for about 2 years to get experience, and so I kind of used their menu as a backbone. Usually, menu-wise, coffee shops are typically around the same. Some of our specialty items would be our maple. My family actually makes maple syrup, so I use Michigan maple syrup in our drinks. We've dabbled in a few different recipes, and we try to do a few seasonal drinks. Like right now we're doing pumpkin, which is also a homemade syrup. But most of our staples, syrup-wise, we get from Monin, which is my favorite syrup. When I go to other coffee shops, if they have Monin, I'm always excited, so that's why we like to use it. Coffee-wise, we started with using Costco coffee just because it was cost-effective, and so in the beginning, we wanted to make sure we were making as much money as possible. So now we are actually going through a roaster from Caledonia called Roots Coffee, and we love their beans and have loved the experience for that.
And now we've kind of invested in some different and similar syrups.
What's your best seller?
We have a caramel lover shaken espresso, which is very popular. It's iced, and we use the Monin syrup, so it's very creamy, and it's very sweet because we put a lot of caramel in it. In the shaker, yeah. And then for lemonades, we usually do a lot of blackberry, or I should say any of our like refresher non-coffee beverages. We do a lot of chais and then lemonades. Blackberry lemonade is very popular.
Definitely the Italian sodas have been getting more popular as we've been going. We started that this summer when we did the fair to try to attract some more kids and, you know, kind of widen our variety, and that, like, over the past month or two has been like super popular.
Yeah. We didn't think it was going to be as popular as it is, but it has really taken off.
Yeah, we had people want to do like a custom one for a show that we did.
Like a youth group situation, so they wanted like a pink princess one, and so we put sparkles in it. It was very fun.
Yeah.
So.
How often are you switching up the menu?
Like every season. If we do, I mean, it depends on the show, but typically it's the same for like all of summer, and then we switch for fall beverages and things.
How many do you think you sell in one weekend?
So like today, it was pretty steady for the first few hours, a pretty average day. You know, total drinks sold, we have 87 drinks right now, and you know, we opened at 10 o'clock and it's 1:30, so we've had open houses where we've done
nearly like 200 in 2 hours. So
we figure 100 an hour is about the max.
That was a lot of lemonades and things. So, if we're using the espresso machine, it obviously goes a little bit slower, but for the grad parties, we were at like 200 drinks in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So.
And are you focusing on events or more of like catering events? How do you go about that?
As of right now, we're doing a lot of just like events and setting up. This spring, we did a few grad parties, and we hope to do a lot more next spring. But this year specifically, we did just a lot of like markets and like setting up at places like this.
Yeah. Last year we had to be like salesmen almost with the trailer. We had to, you know, hit the emails really hard, look up events, and drive further than what we have to this year. This year we've gotten lucky with more private events and
people coming to us asking us to come out instead of us like being the salesperson. So
that's been nice. And that lets us focus on other stuff and just like you know, focus on the menu more and focus on the quality.
When you do private events, is like the person running the event paying for the truck in like an estimation? Are you still doing per drink totals? Are you offering discounts for that? Is it more lucrative to do a private event?
So when we do a private event, we typically know like how much we're going to make because we ask for like the amount of people. Whereas like this, we never know if the farm is going to be busy. In markets too, you never know how many people are going to be there. So we kind of like doing private events because we know what we're getting ourselves into when we agree to it. We've done like our grad parties. Usually the host will pay us to come out and then we just do a free-for-all on the drinks. We typically do about like $5 a person in estimation. Last year it was our first year doing grad parties, so we did like a big deal because we wanted to get a few under our belt. So we did like $500 for 3 hours, and that was as many guests and unlimited drinks. So that was just to get it under our belts though, for experience.
That was definitely like a tough thing for us to kind of figure out, is like how to get our foot in the door in some of the private events, but it kind of all depends. Like we got lucky with being close to some of those, and now we're talked about like with corporate events and people that reach out to us now, like, you know, doing the setup fee and like kind of making it a little more like flow better. So we talked about doing like the iced coffees in pitchers.
So they're self-serve, and then if people want
so like shortening the menu a little bit and like doing a charge per person but having limited options.
Consolidating food, because we don't usually do food for the private events. Usually they do their own, so that kind of in one way makes it easier, but another way, you know, we try to take advantage of the space with the bakery case and take that out and put in the self-serve lemonade, self-serve iced coffee and stuff like that. So
if you could talk about like one of your best events, like maybe how many coffees you sold, or
so we started, our first event we ever did was a 4th of July event. It was a parade in kind of a small community over by Caledonia, Michigan called in Green Lake. So it was a lake event with a parade and like a pancake breakfast down the road and stuff like that. So that's probably one of our better like one-day events that we've done. That, for instance, we probably made $1,100 or $1,200 in that day, and that was from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. But we did the Grand Rapids Open, which was a pickleball tournament this year, and that should have been a 5-day event, but weather made it into a 4-day event. But we still ended up having like our strongest sales out of that 4 days. We hit about 1,000 just in one morning, and we did that consistently each of the 4 days. So, you know, I think if we max it out and we kind of like had a good flow and we really stocked up on our ice, our milk and everything, we could probably get about 1,500 is about our our potential in a day with this trailer.
Is there any other forms of advertising that you do?
Just social media. We try to be on social media a lot and stay active there. We just started posting reels and things, and we've had people reach out because of that.
I think when it comes down to like the business cards, even like just having the business cards out and just, you know, something for them to take and go off of us. Even on our menu, we have QR codes for them to kind of follow us and get a hold of us. So yeah, no advertising expenses. And then we do Canva for, you know, all of our graphics. We don't have to pay anybody to do any of our graphics or any of our social media.
That's all us.
Yeah, we all do it. So granted, yeah, we could probably put a little more into it, but you know, we work other jobs and we're still working at it.
How did you come up with the name?
So it's technically named after me. Our boss at the pizza shop that we work at nicknamed me Lola. So it's my nickname and then my middle name and then coffee.
Yeah.
So it just kind of flows. I didn't want my actual name attached to it, so.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about like your expenses outside of like the food or coffee?
So the equipment was a lot. We actually bought the machine from an old cafe that was in our area that shut down. So we got a good deal on that, but it was $2,500. So that was one of our bigger expenses. And then our grinder as well. We had a different one and then we had to recently upgrade that as well. And those are two of our bigger costs.
The generator was one that we had to kind of go in, and we had a Black Friday deal when we first got the trailer, and then after about a year we realized we were overloading it, had some electrical problems, and so we upgraded to a Gen Max that is
more capable.
Yeah, more capable, way quieter. So especially now when we do some full events with other trucks, we feel like we're not being as much of a nuisance to them. You know, we have food trailer insurance that we do. That's through Flip. I think we pay about $75 a month on that. I upgraded and traded in my car when we got this trailer, so we paid our truck payment. So I drive a Nissan Frontier now that pulls it, and highly recommend that. Very compact, good on gas. Yeah, so that's about $300 a month that we pay on that. We have our T-Mobile Wi-Fi hotspot. That's through the business. That's nice to take with us wherever we go. It usually works. Sometimes we go into some rough areas where we don't get service, but luckily our Square device does have an option where we can go offline for 24 hours. We just have to connect after 24 hours to process the payments. Yeah, we do a lot of our own like tax work right now, so I have a QuickBooks subscription right now that we pay for. And then of course gas is a big expense out of here, you know, traveling with the trailer. And then the generator, you know, almost every show I have to fill up the gas can and, you know, make sure the generator's filled up and ready to go.
And then our actual food license.
Yeah, our food license and everything every year. The commissary is nice because we get one free inspection. And we're seasonal, so we only have to do one inspection a year.
Why do you need a commissary, and why would you recommend it?
We do the commissary because sometimes it's hard when we do the long days here, and if we have to go to work at our other job right after a show, it's nice to just pack our dishes up, go over there, and get the dishes done. It's nice to use for storage. If we have to, you know, if we don't have enough room where we're going, we can, you know, store something there. It's really nice as far as the cooking aspect goes, where we can just bake out of there. We don't have to worry too much about the labeling and everything. For our pastry case, it's like it just saves us a lot of hassle and a lot of time. So
today we are using a different baker, but if we do make our own goods, we do it at our commissary.
We've been told it saves us a lot of money when we do it that way. So we are we're grateful. They take care of us like family. So the goal is to get our own building and, you know, use that as a commissary and
as a home base
and keep kind of traveling with the trailer and being able to just
go
back and, you know, restock and keep going. So
do you have any other future plans?
We've been looking at buildings. Obviously the market for that is hard right now, but we've just recently went and looked at one. We keep our eyes out on Facebook Marketplace and like LoopNet all the time. Yeah. Eventually we want to have our own home base, whether that's coffee related, bakery related, or just our own restaurant, but eventually we'd like this to be more full-time.
I think I've seen people try to, like, we've talked about the use of another trailer, and I just think with the space that we have right now, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to do another trailer with a building. I think that would be a great step, especially because that seems to be the most common question we get from customers is, you know, do you guys have a shop, or are you guys planning on getting a shop? And I think as the past year has gone, we've gathered enough, I wouldn't say clientele, but enough supportive customers that would probably follow us where we go if it's somewhere close. So just finding the thing that makes sense and trying to, find the perfect fit for us.
What are some positives and what are some negatives to running a food truck business?
I think definitely a positive is just being able to go where the people are going.
Yeah.
We've had times where like it was a really bad show as far as like whether things went wrong here and we had to go and refigure things out, whether we had to, whether we just didn't get enough sales and people didn't show up, or bad weather, but you can always just pack it up and try somewhere else again. Or like we just went to Arizona last month and that was nice to just not have to worry about anything. We just closed it down, didn't book anything, and we just kind of
Make our own schedule.
Yeah, went on our way. So
Yeah.
if we need a break, we can take a break.
I would say a con would be like not having regulars, or regulars will go like weeks without seeing us if we're not like in the same area. But we have had people like actually travel pretty far to come and see us. We're from Middleville, so we have a lot of people that we know from Middleville that come to us a lot, and we've had them travel out to Holland or even Hudsonville to come and see us, which is it's always a good feeling.
What's the furthest you've traveled for an event?
We've gone to Jackson, and that was almost 2 hours.
Yeah, so we did a Gus Macker tournament, which is a pretty popular basketball tournament in Michigan, and now it's in some other states, but I think we did that for 2 days, and it was round trip. It was like over 3 hours back and forth each day, so that was really tough for us, and that was a lot of miles on the truck.
That was like, again, one of our like first events, so we were just like trying to get things under our belt, and so we were willing to do that, and now we're a little more picky and can choose where we're going, and won't probably be going that far.
We've gotten lucky this year where we honestly haven't had to pay a lot of rental or setup fees, which has been a blessing, because it just means more profit, more money we can put into bringing like higher quality baked goods and bringing in more stuff to the event, which is nice. We've found some great people that have let us set up for
just free drinks.
I would say just like an exchange. So the idea is we kind of like in the spot we're in like today, we kind of reached out to them and we thought that there was already a coffee trailer here because it's too good of a place, but usually there's places out there that have been looking for a place like us, so usually there's a mutual connection there. It is nice when you do actually still serve a purpose to them too and can really help them and they can help you, so if you guys can both see it like that, a lot of great partnerships form.
So over here we have our ice machine and refrigerator. The refrigerator actually came with the trailer, so that was kind of nice to not have to spend that. It just came with it. We added the ice machine and all the plumbing that goes to it. We have bean storage over there and extra syrups around here. This is our brewer. We just do one pot brewing. We keep our filters up here. Cups are here, syrups, our grinder. We have a knock box tucked back in the corner. This is the espresso machine, and the flow is kind of you grab the cup, get the syrup, and then hand it out. Our register, we use square, and then our cash drawer is tucked underneath. Under here we have more storage, and then most of our like drain stuff, our tank is under this cabinet over here, but our plumbing for the espresso machine gets dumped into this bucket, which we empty. And then we have a 55-gallon tank, and then we just keep other like our merch and stuff underneath on top of the tank. We have a warmer just so that we can brew a few pots because we only have the one pot brewer, so this just keeps it warm so we can keep stocked up. On this side we have our pitcher rinser. It's kind of our catch-all for like our accessories like spoons and our frother. These syrups we didn't have room over on our other syrup bar, so we just leave them over here because most of the time these are used for like lemonades anyway, so they're kind of in this area. And then we have our 3-compartment sinks, hand washing sink. Under here, this lifts up, comes out, and this is our dump tank, and then we have our water heater, and then just trash and stuff. Trash bags, I should say.
What are 3 tips of advice for any other entrepreneurs out there?
I still feel like I'm not like doing it, sometimes I think about it, I'm like, I can't believe we are. So like, you never feel truly ready. You just have to go and do it and start getting your foot in. Don't be afraid to be a salesman either. Like our first year we had to, write a lot of emails, get denied, but keep putting yourself out there and things will catch on.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's crazy when you look back and like just how many people we've gone to like know. Like we met a guy that took care of us and helped clean out our espresso machine because the water in the city that this was from was so bad that it gunked up a lot of the lines. And so we've met a lot of great people in like the industry. We've met a lot of great people as far as customers go that'll follow us. So try to be friendly and make the connections. And usually if you're whatever you put into it, you're gonna get out of it. So I feel like we also really made it a point to put quality over quantity as well. We really invested in the syrups and getting some of the best ingredients for our stuff. And I think it pays off with the taste and the feedback. So.